You're still watching the Gavel. Our next report is on the two committee hearings that took place this week.
The Nigerian electricity sector is one that is constantly facing challenges. Service providers maintain that they are working to provide more electricity for a population in desperate need despite a harsh operating environment. Consumers, on the other hand, allege that they are being made to pay for what they don't consume. This gathering in the House of Representatives, made up of players in the industry, is to look into ways of curbing the excessive electricity charges that are allegedly being levied on consumers by distribution companies in the country. Declaring the event open, the Speaker of the House, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, who was represented, made it clear that the House is determined to get to the root of the matter.
The information available to the House was that after the unbundling of the PHCN, the discourse hurriedly installed new sets of prepaid meters which doubles the units purchased much faster than the older prepaid meters they made on ground.
And for the purpose of getting to
the acting chairman of the ad hoc committee also informed the gathering that interactive sessions were conducted in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country to hear from consumers.
The numerous petitions received by the House against the operations of the discourse were more than validated at each of the zonal interactive sessions.
According to an official of the Central Bank of Nigeria, funds have been made available to the sector in a bid to help provide more electricity.
With this intervention, there will be some stability. So that intervention was called the Nigerian Electricity Market Stabilization Facility. As we speak, we have disbursed 158.74 billion to the industry as intervention. And out of this accounts for about 75% of the total amount. To make sure that the electricity industry becomes efficient, we also intervened by providing a payment assurance facility. And to date, we have disbursed 330 billion out of a projected 701 billion.
Next to speak is the chairman of the National Electricity Regulatory Commission, but he is interrupted at a point.
I want to put it on record. With all that NERC have said there, they have not addressed the primary issue why we are gathered here. And that's the suffering of Nigerians. That we say that how are they doing to eliminate the excessive and outrageous billing on Nigerians?
I'm sorry if there's a misunderstanding in what you expect to hear and what we prepare to do. The entire commission sat many hours to address issues that will mitigate the challenges faced by this industry. We are not joking. For example, Enugu Disco were fined and they were asked to return the money to the customer, as well as they will also return money to the state government. So we're taking action.
For the distribution companies, the only way to address the issue of estimated billing is for every customer to be metered, but that has its own challenges.
We are not able to meter again, as I mentioned to you, because the gap is a humongous gap. For us to be able to meter customers comprehensively, somebody must pay. Meters are not cheap. I think our meter manufacturers here will tell you that there is a cost to the meters that they will supply to us or they will supply to the consumers. Now, if metering has a cost, then that means that that cost must be recovered as part of the tariff. And if it has to be recovered as part of the tariff, then that means the tariff must go up. Where do we find ourselves today? We find ourselves today with a tariff that is 1/3 of what it should be, 30% of what it should be, and is not reflective of the OPEX or the CAPEX that is necessary for us to comprehensively meter customers.
It is, however, up to the Nigerian Electricity Management Safety Agency to provide possible answers to the issue of how the new electricity meters appear to make customers spend more on electricity.
Installations of meters is an issue If meters are not well installed, it can affect or influence how the meter consumptions read. For example, if you have in a premises where there is no earthing, if you install a meter in the place and there is a leakage, whether you are using the load or you are not using the load in that house, basically there is a virtual load and you find out that your meter will read. We equally, in the course of doing our work, we equally have noticed too that a lot of people actually install their generator vis-a-vis the power supply. And you find those generators, generators and the public utility supply are not properly connected through a device we call changeover switch. Some of them will have a 3-pole for a 4-pole supply, 3-phase and neutral. And once you have a common neutral, what happens is that once you change over, you find out that your meter will read because with the neutral of the generator and the public supply being together, you have a closed circuit, and so your meter will be reading. And you'll find out that in such situation, the consumer unknowingly is paying for the supply from the disco, and at the same time is equally paying for the diesel generator which he has installed. And we find out too that people are complaining about the meter is reading without us looking at what is the situation of power supply before and what is the situation of power supply today. Somebody who is receiving power supply before for 3 hours, suddenly the power supply has improved to about 9 hours. Basically, it's a multiplication of the power the person is now consuming. Because we notice this as a result of many questions, many complaints people have made. People have made complaints to us from agencies of government that our meters are reading excessively, and so we want NEMSA to come and carry out a test.
As this ad hoc committee works on possible solutions to these issues, another committee also met with other players in the electricity sector. This time, it is an investigative hearing into allegations of constitutional breaches, impunity, and other infractions by the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited. The chairman of the ad hoc committee and the deputy minority leader of the House gave a background.
The House of Representatives has been inundated with petitions and allegations against the composition, management, and operation of Niger Delta Power Holding Company. This investigative hearing is meant to afford all stakeholders, concerned parties, and interested members of the public an opportunity to participate and be heard on these issues of utmost urgent national importance.
And accounting procedures of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited is subject to the overriding provisions of the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in general and the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA, in particular. However, the available information is that the company has failed to comply with very serious and important provisions of the law, such that the very essence of the company and by extension the NIPP is seriously threatened. Furthermore, the NDPHC does not submit its annual budget and project plans for appropriation by the National Assembly, while, as alleged, it also generates internal revenue in trillions of naira, which cannot be determined because it is neither divulged nor paid into the coffers of the government, but rather expended by the company without legislative approval or input from the other tiers of government.
For those that appeared, however, most appealed for time to bring relevant documents.
I will crave the indulgence of the committee to also allow us time to address these specific issues. Our understanding, myself and my colleagues in the executive management, we came in barely 2 years ago. This company has been existing since 2005, but it's a continuing company. We would receive proper briefing and address all the specific allegations and bring forward to this committee. I commit to full cooperation from my company. We'll cooperate with you. Every document you need that we have in our custody, we'll make provisions. We'll provide them to.
So we will give you, we'll come back to you with copies of all the share certificates, because share certificates were actually handed over to the states. In fact, those share certificates were passed through the Nigerian Governors Forum, and then because it was sealed, it was handed over, and then we handed it over to the states. And even when we wanted to, they need to have, states that will be represented on the board of Niger Delta Power Holding Company. Those decisions were taken at the forum, which of the states will serve on the board and all that. All those informations will be furnished to you in due course.
The committee is to reconvene on a later date to continue with the hearing.
I'm sure you will join me in hoping the lawmakers' efforts yield some results and helps transform the Nigerian electricity sector. I'm still looking forward to having your reactions to that report and also to the judgment on the National Assembly and their powers to investigate criminal matters. Get your views to us through any of the addresses on your screen. Well, that's our show this week. Thanks for staying with me. I'm Lanre Lasese. Bye and take care.